You guys know the deal. You really get used to a certain art style you enjoy, draw lots of stuff with it, think it might be your style, but you keep seeing other people do art that is way more amazing than yours, and you realize, with my style, I probably won't be able to reach that level. Now, the average human would think the obvious solution is to change your art style, right? It's not that easy. So I've been drawing in this 2D comic kind of art style for the past year now, and made a bunch of art using only this style, when one day it really hit me hard. I saw this absolute masterpiece of an artwork created by Chosen Abyss featuring Artorias from the GOAT game itself, Dark Souls. Everything in this art is absolutely stunning to me. And on one hand, that motivated me to continue my art journey, so one day I might be able to create something of similar greatness. However, at the same time, I realized my art was locking me behind a hard skill cap. Because in my 2D comic book style, I knew I'd never be able to catch the same vibe as this whopping masterpiece. I realized my art style I was so used and familiar with was actually kind of holding me back from what I really wanted to be able to create. So, I took matters into my own hands. Something that instantly helped me to form my new art style was that I directly compared my current art style to the one I wanted to achieve. I started to search for all the differences I could find. For example, for the outline that I always used to do very thick and mostly in black, I noticed that Artorias right here mostly has a rather thin outline, with those not being mainly in black, but varying in color depending on the body part. This was something I could easily change in my art, since I didn't require learning any new type of skill, but just required me to change some colors. Moreover, I also focused on what type of brush Abyss might have used and tried to figure out how to somewhat skillfully create art with it. I mean, up to this point I really had only been using like 4 to 5 brushes of like the 60 that Krita has to offer, so just trying out everything and looking for something that matched already helped me in getting a better understanding on what's useful and, well, what's not. One last thing that struck my eye was that I had always been adding the same amount of details to every body part, when I could have used the amounts of details more in a way of putting emphasis on some parts that are more important, while putting less details on less relevant stuff. And after analyzing and getting a rough understanding on the changes that needed to happen, it was time for me to put the theory in practice and create. Or was it? Okay, so I don't want to yap too much about this, but changing a style you've stuck with for years can also be challenging in a mental way. Because maybe you got really used to it and might think you might reset all the progressed art skills when you try out something new. But I need you to stop right there. Trying out new stuff, especially in terms of art, is very crucial to every artist, because if you really want to improve, it works just like learning for an exam. Studying, learning, trying, experimenting, all that is essential for you to get a broader understanding on how art can function in many different ways and be created in such as well. So don't be afraid of experimenting with art and changing your style, since even if it might look bad to you in the beginning, it will help you tremendously in the long run. And by the way, your art style has probably changed multiple times throughout your art journey already, without you even noticing. Sometimes a big change can also come in many small adjustments throughout years. So change can also come natural and is a natural thing. Now, after taking all that into consideration and trying my best to make the right adjustments, I created this artwork of promised consort Rodan, carrying Mikola on his back. The total thing took me about 14 to 15 hours, which was definitely longer than usual for the obvious reason of learning a completely new art style. Even though I had to jump out of my comfort zone and throw over my 2D comic style, I still think it was worth it in the end. I think I've come a tiny bit closer to my next big art journey goal and will definitely try out new stuff again, so if you don't want to miss that, consider subscribing to the channel to follow me on my path on becoming a game artist. Also, make sure to give me some feedback in the comment section because, as I usually tell you, feedback is the most important thing for every artist in the world, so definitely make sure to share your opinion on my work so far. I hope you enjoyed the video up until now and really wanted to thank you guys once again for reaching the first 50 subscribers on my channel and hope we can keep growing as a game art loving community together. Love you guys so much, and yeah, I hope you'll have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.